Hello everyone, welcome to Kalpa Kendra Tarot. Even though I feel like I am saying welcome to Kalpa Kendra Tarot, but then what I'm going to discuss is so different. Not very, but then in tarot we can discuss almost anything. But it is not a tarot reading, it is going to be something else. And I felt guided by spirit to make this video on this channel specifically. This is not something, this is not the way you see me on this channel. So it is going to be new for the people who have known me only on this channel, on the English channel. And the topic that you have seen on the thumbnail and that we are going to discuss today is about twin flame separation reaching its peak. Spirit has been saying to me that, there are people, there are audiences who need to hear this, specifically connected to this channel. And I'm leaving it here for anyone who would benefit from this message. Honestly, I don't know. Sometimes you have to believe your intuition. Not sometimes, I think all the time, I guess. You have to believe your intuition even before it makes sense, because logical, rational mind cannot pick up things that you can. Cannot understand things that you can pick up intuitively from the spirit realm, right? So it might take a while for even me to grasp exactly the orchestration of what I'm going to do, but let's just do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to address, like, this is how I basically do my discussions on the Bengali channel that I have, Kalpa Kendra Spiritual Discussions, where I take up spiritual topics and then deconstruct them for my audience. What I'm going to do here is something very similar, and that's why, there's a paper, like there's a there's a copy here, and as I speak I'm gonna try to break down the things as I know them and as spirit wants me to share them with you, right? So the question and the topic that we are dealing with today is, what happens, or the very point where twin flame separation, the pain of separation, not the separation but the pain of separation, reaches its peak. What is that about? So what you would see as like people who can relate to the twin flame connection and know for a fact that they are in one would be able to kind of understand what I mean by the fact that you can do a lot of work on yourself. You can have yourself regulated in exactly those moments where you think that that you are getting your triggers, and consciously work on the shadow aspects, consciously work on things that you think that you are ignoring, and do everything that we mean by inner work and shadow work. Although that is vast, that is expansive, and I don't know if there is like one definition, one size fits all definition for inner work. It is just the work that you do to get more closely acquainted with yourself, like as you progress. And inner work never really ends. I mean, as you progress, as you keep going, it keeps growing. That is the best way I can explain this. But you could be doing all of this and yet you could feel extreme pain inside of yourself for being separated for your twin, from your twin, not for your twin, from your twin. So this pain of separation that comes up can reach like a magnitude that it becomes so difficult for you to make sense of on your own. And the only thing that you feel you want to do at that moment is to reach out to your twin. I have explained in the other channel what yin and yang separation is like. I'm not sure if you have clarity about that on this, like this audience that I'm addressing now has clarity about yin and yang separation and how this energy gets divided in our body. But if you don't, and if you would like me to explain, then obviously you can leave a comment. But for now, what I'm going to say is, what you feel like when you feel the pain of separation. You feel that you yourself are not being able to handle it on your own. Usually this would happen to the divine feminine, who has more yin in her body, yin or feminine energy or shakti energy in her body, and less of masculine energy, which is why she's feeling the separation, because there is an energetic imbalance, right? So when divine feminine is feeling this pain of separation, which she identifies as missing her masculine, missing her DM, what is happening at that time? You may be doing, like, you could be doing everything that you understand by inner work, and yet this pain gets extremely intense, and you hear things like, don't give your like DM energy, or if you keep going to them, it is gonna perpetuate the runner chaser cycle. And you would hear a lot of things about, say, how you have to give yourself everything that you need from your masculine and rise up to the occasion. You cannot be dependent on the other person, and yet with all of this knowledge, it still becomes very, very difficult for you to bear this pain. So what is happening at that moment? We have to understand that what happens if divine masculine is going through this kind of emptiness and pain. Don't they go through pain? Well, they do. They feel kind of lost, empty. There are moments when they might end up like texting the DF or giving the DF a hint of what is going inside of themselves, but mostly they end up suppressing it. And they suppress it, like, if it is possible to suppress it with work, they do that. If not, then they go for addictions, and they might go for other connections. So even with the DM, even when they feel this intense pain, if it is suppressible, like if it is possible for them to suppress it, because masculine energy, a lot of what masculine inner work looks like is basically this: suppress your emotions, do not give your emotions control over you. You don't have to listen to that voice inside of your head which tells you that it is sad or angry and anything. Divine feminine would more divine feminine attitude is more of confronting that voice, confronting everything it has to say. But divine masculine would want to suppress it, run away from it, and would actually want to concentrate on work till the point that they actually break down, that it that there's a like breakdown moment, and they cannot take it anymore, and then the shift towards divine feminine happens. But before that, they're just suppressing it. If it is if it is possible for them to suppress it with what work, alcohol and stuff like that, if they are not being able to suppress it, if they have to express it, they will express it to other connections and not to their divine feminine, because divine feminine is too overwhelming. It is overwhelming anyway to look into the eyes of your counterpart and imagine going through something extremely turbulent, and then having to face the person that like shifts tectonic plates in your heart. So that is difficult. So without compounding their level of difficulty, they would just move to the other side, avoid the DF and go to something else. What DF would do is DF would end up chasing DM. DM would also end up chasing something else, because he's the mirror, right? She would not look within. But even when, this is what I'm talking about, even when you are doing everything to look within, and you are well acquainted with the processes of confronting the underlying issues within yourself, when you are going through something externally and confronting your emotions, you know that. If you know that bit, then what happens? See, this is why it becomes important to understand that this journey is not about following a set pattern. When you go deeper into what what Shakti's energy is actually like, what feminine energy is actually like, you would understand that Shakti is chaos. She is not order. Masculine is order. She is a little bit of she's unpredictable, and masculine is predictable. So if you go there with a set pattern of do's and don'ts, it is going to disappoint you. With Shakti, you have to understand that when you look within, when you are channeling things from inside, you cannot have an exercise, a routine, a structure with which you are going to be able to deconstruct everything that Shakti is going to put you through. There is going to be unpredictability to it. There is going to be element of chaos and disorder to it, where you have to invent newer ways of handling what is happening inside of you. And this is how we bring new information into the collective, into the material world. Why? Because Shakti goes deep into consciousness, pure consciousness, which is Shiva, and then gets information from there. She goes deep into the spirit realm, where set patterns cannot exist, because there will be limitations to set patterns, and where Shakti is going in order to get this kind of information is limitless, right? So it would take you a while if you're just getting acquainted with these concepts, and it would take you a while to wrap your head around it. But I'm just going to say that what happens in these moments when you are against your better judgment of not contacting your masculine, being shown that the only, and not for say a moment, not for an hour, not for a day, but consistently, say for weeks or months, you're getting this intuition that the only thing that will satisfy the emptiness, or this restlessness in you, is if you get connected with your DM, then you have to contact them. Then the universe, your intuition is asking you, maybe out of pain, maybe out of like a strategic move, no matter what, you might just strategically feel that it is the time for you to contact your DM. Great, then you think that, okay, so I know intuitively that I should be contacting him, and I'm gonna go contact him. You can do that, or you can do that out of pain. There is so much pain that you want to avoid it. It does not strategically look even beneficial for you to go contact him at this stage, but there is so much intense pain that you cannot help but contact him. Usually when that happens, you are supposed to go with the flow and contact him, because this is how you respect your feminine energy, your intuition, everything that is happening inside of your body. You see, even in tantric principles, in tantra, masculine energy is the mind and body is the feminine energy. So if you're listening to the pain that your body is holding inside of itself, if you are listening to the kind of emotions that you're feeling, all of them will tell you that we only want one thing, and that is the masculine. And no matter what you are giving to that energy, to that missing energy, it won't get satisfied. You can meditate, you can do whatever, but it won't still get satisfied. At that point you realize that, yes, I need to go to him, and against your better judgment. Why am I saying against your better judgment? Because sometimes people think that it is better not to contact them, that the world would come to an end if you contact your masculine. Why? Because I don't know, there are different coaches telling you different things, and also there is some ego sometimes associated with the fact that why should I, I mean, of all the people, why can't he do it? I'm saying he and she, but fit your situation. I don't really mean that masculine is always, like divine masculine is always a male and divine feminine is always a female. I know that that can interchange. Just suit your situation, okay? Like, let my example suit your situation. Again, so when that is happening, that is usually happening because you are supposed, and this is divinely orchestrated, you are supposed to be hurt by your masculine. And if you contact them, for sure that they are not prepared to welcome you with open arms, or emotionally be able to like be able to understand the depth of your pain, or even understand what you are going through. None of it they have. Like, inside of yourself that they have not reached that state yet you feel in your heart, and sometimes you can even sense it as being their pain and not your pain. But whatever, it is pain, whether it is yours, whether it is theirs, it's pain inside of yourself. And as a, like, if I consider yin and yang to be the same soul frequency, the soul with this, like one soul with the same core frequency, not going into the debate of one soul, two souls, it's just same soul with a similar, like the same core frequency, then you would be able to pick up on their pain, even if they are not feeling it so explicitly. Even if there is suppressed emotions, you would be able to feel it inside of yourself. Why? Because suppressed emotions, yin, you hold the, like, most of the yin in your body, and you're going to feel it all over your body, that there is something that is being suppressed and ignored, and they are in pain, which is why they are escaping their own pain, and you would be able to feel all of that. But if you do that, if you do feel that, you might be pushed by the universe to just go and get hurt once again. Once you do, it's gonna feel like a tight slap. It's going to feel like a tight slap, where you will be reminded of the many ways in which you have been belittling yourself, been abandoning yourself all over again. And without this slap, without this hurt, you could not have, had such level of clarity about what you were doing in your life, which was not serving your purpose anymore. Usually, everything, there will be some intuition that you have not been following, some level that you have not been crossing. Okay, there is some intuition that you did not follow, some level you did not cross, because of which there was stagnancy in your energy, a stagnancy that can only be broken down, that you would only be able to break out of once you are hurt by your masculine. Because stagnancy, this passive energy that feminine is, will, when encountering their masculine counterpart, which is the active energy, the active force, will then be able to move forward. So sometimes you might feel that intuitively I feel so much pain and I feel like I need my masculine, and then I reach out to my masculine, and my masculine, like what he's doing is hurting me more. So why is that happening? Well, that is happening because you're supposed to be hurt, and it will unlock something in you. It will feel as if you are being shown in a jiffy everything that you've been ignoring about that stage that you were not being able to cross, the upgrade that you were not being able to integrate. And you'll have that aha moment that, oh my God, I see it now. And more than being angry with your masculine, you will feel kind of grateful that these are the moments when you are in your tears, you are on your knees, and yet you are saying thank you to the universe that you've shown me. This is why the twin flame connection is so different from other connections, that you'll feel like you've shown me exactly where I was belittling myself, giving away my power, and the many ways in which I was not recognizing who I am. And this I could not, even if you would have, like, chances are that you would have known this about yourself. You would have known in your subliminal thoughts, that subliminal chatter or banter that we have with ourselves constantly. You might have known that you were doing this, and 100% you would have known. It's just that you were not being able to tune into it. You were not being able to identify it properly. And it was not like your subliminal chatter was not becoming like your conscious chatter, so it was not coming to the forefront of your consciousness. Once you have that moment, you will realize that this is probably an intuition that kept, like, it is an intuitive hit that kept coming to you, that kept knocking on your door, and you kept ignoring it. And once that masculine energy breaks that for you, like hurts you so much that you cannot help but go within and just scream why, in that why is gonna pretty much tear you apart, and you're gonna be able to look within at that moment. That moment is a moment of extreme activation, extreme integration. Usually what follows is a state of what do I say, a great energetic shift, where you would be breaking away from your old patterns, because the hurt is so deep now that you'd be breaking away from your old patterns and shifting into a new pattern. As you keep doing it, as this keep repeating in your story, you would understand with exact accuracy why this is happening, and you would not have to go to your masculine every time you feel like you're missing them. You would not have to rush to them. You would know that, okay, this is happening because I am ignoring this bit. But when it happens again, there is again something that is not coming to the forefront of your consciousness, and you'll again be put into this situation where you need to go to them, get hurt, get that blow, you know break open, see that part of you that you were ignoring, and you'd be like, and more often than not, you would be able to identify your twin's higher self in your subconscious, because twins have access to their 5D reality. So in your 5D, you would be able to understand and communicate with your DM exactly why they did what they did and what you were missing. And they might even tell you sorry at one point. The sorry would not even matter, because you would understand that you are in this together. It is the twins versus the world, and that's why they have this dynamic where they're trying to wake each other up. So they would appear in your subconscious, and they'll tell you that this is not even subconscious, it's very conscious 5D connect, communication. And as what kind of information you get will depend on your level of consciousness, your situation, the lesson that needs to be learned at that moment. So a lot of those things. But as your level like as your level upgrades, like as you raise your level of difficulty, as you cross higher and higher levels in your reality, and you obviously your consciousness rises, the kind of revelations you will have through these, moments of missing and moments of feeling extreme pain, and then going to your masculine, and then getting hurt, and then realizing something, that pattern will change its nature. The frequency of it initially may be a lot more, like it might be a lot more frequent. It might be happening like with in a few weeks or few months, and then as you keep crossing levels, it might happen in a few months, like in what, 6 months, 1 year, then one or 2 years, something like that. Okay, the frequency of that will reduce depending on where you stand and what your twin flame journey looks like. Because for a lot of twin flames, it's not just about doing inner work and then coming into physical union. It is not just about physical union. It is about becoming who they are meant to be, and giving the world which is their Shakti, giving them the promise of delivering the gifts that they have, basically staying true to the promise of delivering their gifts and everything that they have brought with themselves from the spirit world, to be grounded into material reality being Shakti. So what is Shiva, what is Shakti, we can obviously go into details of that much later, but this was one message that spirit said that leave it on Kalpa Kendra Tarot for people to find, because I don't know, maybe it will find its destination in due time. I hope it makes sense. So if you're going through something like this where your twin flame separation pain reaches its peak, I hope you understand that there's something that is trying to be born out of you, which has reached its divine timing. And things like this will happen in divine timing, where you've been consistently feeling like you're missing them, you need to contact them, and you are ignoring it, and there will come a point you cannot ignore it anymore, and they suddenly hurt you so much that you can't take it, and you ask universe, why did you do this? Well, it did it because you needed it. That blow was that blow of awakening. There is no physical blow, it is an internal blow. And it was you needed that, what do I say, that very strict and aggressive awakening, rude awakening, to shift your timeline, to be able to make that quantum leap and say goodbye to that version of you that you were not being able to say goodbye to, in your, like, staying in your comfort zone. It was to make you break free of your break away from your comfort zone. Okay, so I hope it made sense to you. If you liked it, let me know what your thoughts are. We can probably maybe discuss this later on. I've said to people who've asked me to do such videos in English, I've said that I'm probably going to take some time before I shift to English, to make such like a shift to my English channel, to make such discussions on spiritual topics, because it's going to be a handful. But here I am, listening to spirit and then just following my intuition. Let's see what happens. Okay, so we will get in touch, I think, with either more tarot readings or more discussions like this. Take care, loads of love, bye bye.